reminder to why we're here. I'm going to go ahead and post the district mission statement, and it reads as follows. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. And that helps to remind us why we're here as the district. And I'd like to introduce our own district director, Miss Debbie Jo Londano, to get things started for the evening.
Thank you so much. I remember when I was first thinking about being an area director, I wanted to do it. I wanted to serve, but I was nervous and I didn't know if I could. I didn't really know what had to be done, but I had people to encourage me, and they said they would support me and help me. And it's really simple. Now, you know, simple is not always easy, like to lose weight. Simple, two things, diet and exercise, very simple. The job of an area director is simple: help build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. And we're going to hear more about that, how you do that and what you get out of it when you serve as an area director this evening. And to get the ball rolling, let's welcome distinguished Toastmaster Program Quality Director, Paula Suma.
Thank you. And again, thank you everyone for being here. I'm just going to briefly introduce some of the people that are on our panel really quickly. I just want you to know, and they're going to tell you their name as they're being called. We do have past and current area directors on our panel, as well as our trio. You've met Debbie Jo, myself, and Vicki Goodman is our club growth director. We also have our public relations manager, Maria Martinez. I know you're here. And we have a bunch of brilliant area directors and area directors to be that are going to share their experiences with you, answer questions. What we're going to do first is take a few minutes, and I'm going to kind of start the discussion and ask specific area directors for their feedback and share a little bit. They're each going to get about 4 minutes. I know that's not a lot of time, but we'll have more time after each one has had the opportunity to speak. Then we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A, question and answer period, and then we'll wrap it up with the trio's final words. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. Our brilliant Zoom master, Sue Leithoff, she is going to take care of all of our Zoom things that we need, and she will put a green light when it's time. The 4 minutes are up for each speaker, so watch for Sue's timing. And if you go a little bit over, you're not going to get slapped on the hand, but you might get somebody rolling their eyes back. So usually that's what they do to me when I go over. Not to say that I've never gone over, so I kind of tend to do that a lot, but I'll try not to today. So I'm real happy to have everyone here with us. So welcome again. And I just want to tell you that being an area director, as Debbie Jo said, it is an amazing experience. Not only do you get to increase your own leadership abilities and learn more about yourself, you get to learn more about others, and you have the most amazing people to lean on and to ask questions. We've got tons of resources. And here's just a small sample of our wonderful district here with us tonight. So I know that an area director has several responsibilities. And one of their responsibilities is to kind of get to know their clubs and kind of be friends with them, befriend them, create a rapport, and work with their clubs. You are the liaison between the club and the district. And one of the things that you need to do as an area director is to visit your clubs at least twice a year, and complete what we call an area director visit report. And I'm going to go to Judy Hayes, Distinguished Toastmaster Judy Hayes, who's going to talk to us a little bit about that report. Don't go into too much detail, but just let's tell them how easy it is now You don't have to compare it to how it used to be difficult, because right now it is super simple. And what is your responsibility, Judy, as far as visiting the clubs and submitting that report to TI?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Judy Hayes. I've been an area director 3 times. Yes, 3 times. The first time I was an area director, I want to explain to you what my area visit was like. I went through training. I was told I had to visit all of my clubs. And the club I visited was Toastmasters. Believe it or not, it's still around today. It's been in existence since 1993. I contacted the club president. His name was Jim Ellis. I still remember because it was the first time I went and you never forget. And I told him I'd like to come and visit the club. He said, oh, that's fine. We picked a day and I was going to visit them. It's a corporate club, so I had to go through a little, how should I say? You have to pre-register actually get into the club. But I went through all that. As I was walking down to the meeting room, you know, that's when your chest starts pounding and you start to get a little apprehensive. That happened to me. But once I walked in the door, the previous area director was there. Oh, I just calmed down. And I had a chance to speak with everyone. And to do your report, you will be able to, when you walk in there, remember, you're the first impression that they see, and it goes vice versa. It's both ways. And that's one of the things you have to do. And if you don't know, the moments of truth is very your area report, all of them. First impressions, membership orientation, fellowship, program planning, membership strength. You see how many members are in the club, you'll know that right away. What do the achievements of the club members do? How do they do that? You'll be able to ask that after you're there. The fellowship, you'll be able to see how everybody communicates in that meeting. Is it a stale meeting or is the meeting upbeat and everybody's answering all the questions? And are they on time? Are they following the agenda? All these questions you'll be able to answer because you're visiting them. And by that time, when you leave, you'll be able to answer every single one of those area report questions because you will be present there. And the best thing is, you'll have all the answers because you were there. And remember one thing. I learned the best thing I could know. Remember, you represent the district. So please, as a side note, don't go in jeans. You're representing the district. And like Paul was saying, we are like the gateway to the district and also the clubs. So you're going to be almost like their best friend because you'll be the one, if they have any problems, they're going to come and ask you them. Always keep in contact with your president. Check on them once a month to see how they're doing. And also if they have any special requests, if you can, make sure you're there. They might even ask you to install their officers. That's a great honor. And you can do it because you have all the information from you. And if not, everyone on the panel can help you or the previous area director will help you. So remember, this is one role. Sometimes you don't think you can do things, but when you go and do them, it's the best role I ever had. I learned so much. My communication skills got better. And you have met so many different friends along the way. So think about it. Be an area director and communicate, learn, and see how much you can accomplish by being an area director. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much. Lots of great information. And those area director reports, you can visit the club now. It's even easier because you don't even have to go in person. Most clubs are meeting online, so you get to visit them online. Just let them know when you're coming and have a little conversation with the club officers either before or after the meeting so that you can ask additional questions that you may not find out just by visiting. Some of them you actually have to ask. Don't just assume that they're not doing anything else. Ask them, what do you have planned? Who do you have in your club that might be looking for leadership roles in the future? Are they working the pathways? Things like that. So thank you, Judy. Great information. All right. Another thing that you must do as an area director is get training. And training is so important. We're not just going to say, okay, you're an area director, go for it, it's all yours, and not tell you what it is you need to do as an area director, where the resources are, how and who and why and when you need to share these things. You get training, you get special training. And we're going to talk about, I think it's Edith. Are you going to talk about the training?
I have to talk about training, but I also have to talk about the thing that you get training for, which is reports and progress. And first of all, good evening, every person on the screen, whether you are a colleague at the panel or somebody learning this so they can share the wealth of knowledge and become area directors. Actually, when I think about the different roles that I had in Toastmaster, I believe that area director was the one that got me closer to really understand leadership within the district, because you're close enough to the clubs, but then you have this view about what the district leadership is all about. It's almost like you get the two worlds and you are right there being the person who connects the two of them. When we think about area progress, the first thing that might comes to mind is, oh, that is about those charts that say how many people you have, how many people have done training, and you know what I'm talking about. You get there and you look at your reports and you say, oh, this club is having issues. I'm going to have to go and talk to them. But really, it's not about that. Once you start getting trained, and by the way, remember, you're not called because you are already trained and know the things. You are called because you're willing in your leadership and you're there to start learning. Basically, we in Toastmaster always support everybody's success. And believe me when I say I knew nothing, absolutely nothing, when I came first area director, and Sandy De Primo hold my hand, Debbie Jo Londono for the other hand. And I remember learning all these things about, you know, how you look at what the numbers means. But behind the numbers, it's the real deal and the challenge for leadership. Because you see, it's not about getting to the number, it's understanding what the numbers means. They really have symptoms. And that what you learn on training is about what is these numbers telling you about. In one hand, you have to achieve goals to get all the awards in the districts. But on the other hand, you can take those numbers, analyze, and then think about, how do I carry this conversation with the clubs? And what is this number telling me that I need to help them with? One good lesson I learned, I remember in one of the clubs, we had a club that claimed in the relationship part that they were doing everything, and the numbers of club members were amazing. So we were looking at, how come the numbers of members are so high, but we're not seeing these education awards in the charts? And then we realized that the VP of Education was really doing the job of approving everything, and he claimed he was approving. They were almost claiming that we have a website problem, but they were not submitting that to Toastmasters International. When we fixed that, they became presidential award. And that's one of the beauties when you see how you get trained by the district to help others succeed and help the clubs find their groove and have those conversations, then the training requires a different meaning. One of the things that is easy is that the deck is training you at least 6 times, and not always is in person, but when it's in person, it's delicious because you get meals and you get to say hi to the people and feel the energy. And then you learn a lot about your own personality, your leadership. I remember having trainings about, you know, who are the socialites and who are the introverts and things of that nature. So you learn a lot about your leadership style. But for me, the best that you learn is the idea of being ready to help others succeed. Back to you, Madam Moderator.
Thank you so much, Edith. Yes, and training is so important. We don't expect you to jump into the role without having training. We do have a leadership training at the very beginning of the Toastmaster year. And as a matter of fact, we already have it on the calendar. So if you're going to be an area director or division director, mark your calendar for June 4th. We'll get more details to you, but June 4th is when we get together with our area and division directors and we do a specific leadership training just for you. So you don't have to sit there and worry about, well, now I'm an area director, now what? We're going to share that now what with you. Another thing, and we'll get a little bit more into that in a minute, but I want to tell you what the main responsibilities are. We want to start with that. One of the other responsibilities is to have area contests. Now, you know that we're in contest season right now. They start with the clubs, go to the area, then the winners go on to division, and then those winners go on to district, which, by the way, tomorrow's the last day to register for the district conference, where we will be viewing the international speeches at the conference online all together. So it's going to be lots of fun. So I regress. There we go. We're going to talk about contests and what are your responsibilities as far as the area contests are concerned. And Cindy Paulson is going to talk to you a little bit about contests. Cindy.
Thank you so much, Madam Distinguished Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters. It's an honor for me to talk about contests. I had so much fun and so much growth through doing the Area 40 contest this past year. It was super that it happens after the club contest because we take the learnings and the growing from the club contest and helping with the club contest. It's your own home club. And then you can pivot and then put together your area contest as an area director. And let me just point out that it doesn't mean you have to do everything. If you're running your area contest, you just need to orchestrate it, put it together. The amazing resources that Toastmasters International and District 84 put together make running contests so easy. We have a complete toolkit on Toastmasters International for every single one of the contests. And this year it was international speech, evaluation, and table topics. Next year, it will be international evaluation in either humorous or one other type of contest that I believe the district will vote on which one to do. Including with the speech toolkits is all the certificates, all the things that even online tutorials, how to run a contest, how to do all the different roles. District 84 has sample scripts online that you can download along with checklists. I use those. That was my starting point, pulling all those resources together, and I customized the scripts and the checklist so that they met my needs. Then I made sure I picked my date for the contest and organized early. Got my volunteers through not only my home club and my area clubs, those that were not competing in a speech contest, but also by emailing everyone in the district, sending out a blast email. I got phenomenal response. I had 3 different contest chairs to split up each contest, so it wasn't overwhelming for a contest chair. I had a chief judge and a backup chief judge. all the judges I needed, a test speaker for the evaluation contest, Zoom moderators, sergeant at arms, timers, and ballot counters, and backup people to fill in any slot in case somebody couldn't make it at the last minute. It all went seamlessly, other than my own errors. And that's the thing I want to point out. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And I am proof of that because I made some major errors, I thought, in my mind, in my own contest. One of the scripts I forgot to include before every contestant, that the contestant needed to be asked, can you see the timer? And therefore, one of our contestants for the table topics was disqualified on time. Well, I fixed that and sent my drafts of my scripts off to other people so they wouldn't make that same mistake. The other thing I did, I was micromanaging when I shouldn't have been. I should have let my Zoom moderators and their sergeant at arms doing their own jobs. I thought I knew better. And I actually muted a contestant during their speech when I meant to mute somebody who had just come into the meeting. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness our contestant recovered beautifully after I had to interrupt them and tell them what I'd done. They proceeded on and finished their speech with so much aplomb. I was so proud of them. But in hindsight, if I had not done the micromanaging, who knows, that contestant might have won. But that's just it. It was okay. The earth did not stop. I didn't get fired. I went on and I used the happenings from those contests, my errors. I gave 2 different pathway speeches from that. And I've learned and I've grown and I'm working on not micromanaging others. It's really about having fun with the roles, getting people together, giving people those leadership and volunteer opportunities that they crave and that they join Toastmasters for. It's all the teamwork. I learned so much. My confidence has grown. It's been a fantastic experience and I had fun. Madam Program Quality Director.
Thank you, Cindy. Boy, you make me want to be an area director again. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Another responsibility of the area director is to have what we call area council meetings. And those are little get-togethers where you get with your area, the club officers that are in your area. And did I neglect to say at the very beginning, and I think I did neglect this, so before I bring our next person on, I do want to say that as an area director, you typically would have 4 to 6 clubs under you. We try to put those clubs near the region where you live, but because there's so many clubs online now, that is kind of impossible to get everybody close to home. But that's okay, because we actually have several area directors so far in the next term that are going to be strictly 100% online area directors. That means even if you have clubs that meet in person and you're not able to get there, it's okay. You can still do your club visits online. You can still share the information you need to with them online. And even when it comes to contests, you can, if you can't travel, if we end up having contests in person next year, which is a possibility, if you can't travel to run the contest or assist with the contest, you have plenty of people within your clubs that want to do a DTM project or a high performance leadership project, or just want the experience of running a contest. You can have one person or you can have a team work together to do that. So that's not all on your shoulders. You're responsible to make sure that the contest takes place and that the winners, that the division is notified of the winners, and typically area directors help one another with their contest. So like everything in Toastmasters, it's a team effort. We're all here to help each other. So speaking of area council meetings, distinguished Toastmaster Walter Blackman, who we so affectionately call Bobby. Bobby, would you like to share a little bit about area council meetings?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Program Quality Director. So my name is Bobby Blackman. As well as stated, I have served as Division Director as well as area director. And I had a great time doing both. Keep that in mind towards the end of my 4 minutes. 3 things that I like to think of needs to take place within you when you are an area director in dealing with your council meetings, rather as a division director or area director. Those 3 are flexibility, adaptability, and being answerable. The first 2 goes to your club officers. So as an area director, what you want to do is meet with your club officers in your 4 to 6 clubs, however many you have, meet with them at least a couple of times in a 6 months, at least twice. Now, you can do that more, but you don't want to overwhelm your people, definitely. So in being flexible, what you have to do is be flexible in how you meet with them, and with your schedule, because you're talking about 4 to 6 different people, at least, if you're just talking about presidents. But if you're really good, you want to get the vice presidents of education in, and even the other officers in as well as you can. But the best is if at least you can get the president and VP in. And during those club meetings or area council meetings, what you want to do is talk about, what do they need? How can you help them? Where are they? What's going well? And you want to make sure that that's being shared, because there may be another club officer in there who's having some issues that other club officer may share that could help them. Also, you want to be adaptable. Adaptable because you may not be able to get all 4 to 6 club representatives in one meeting, rather on Zoom or in a restaurant or wherever. You may not be able to make that happen. So you have to be adaptable. You may have to meet with 4 on Zoom, and then make that effort of reaching out to the other 2, if there's 6 in all, the other 2 club representatives, reaching out to them through, you may have to do phone calls. You may have to do an email correspondence, an exchange of ideas and thoughts through email, but make sure that you share everything. A good thing to do is take notes, ensure that the final information to all, if you can. Same thing with division meetings. If you're a division director, same difference. And one of the things that I did was meet with all of my area directors separately at the beginning. As soon as July rolled around and we scheduled meetings, I met with them via phone. We spoke for 15 minutes. I wanted to get to know them, and I wanted them to know me and my goals. So being adaptable and making sure that you're working with your club representatives. Now that last one, answerable. That's maybe the most important, because what you want to do as an area director or division director is write down some goals that you want to accomplish and goals that you would like your team to accomplish, and then be answerable to them. Be answerable by making sure that you do everything that you can to accomplish your goals, and making sure that you do everything that you can to provide the resources and the tools so that they are able to achieve their goals as well as your goals, which your goals should be the district's goals.
Green.
That pretty much sums it up as far as being flexible, adaptable, and answerable. But like I said, don't forget that last one, because if you set that goal of being answerable to yourself, you're going to smash all of those other goals, and so will your team. And not only that, what did I say at the beginning? You will have an awesome time being area director or division director, or whatever role it is that you're playing to and being. I appreciate you all, and I look forward to seeing all of you future leaders next year.
Thank
Madam
you, Bobby.
Program Director.
Thank you, Bobby. I love the enthusiasm. Oh my goodness. See, it is so much fun. You get to meet so many wonderful people. You get to share your knowledge with others, and you gain so much knowledge as well. It's just an amazing experience. There's another thing that we'd like for you to do now. So we talked about the important things. These are the main responsibilities we already spoke of. Your club contest, your training, your area council meetings, your area club reports. Those are the things that are required. Another thing that we want you to keep track of for your clubs is the DCP program, Distinguished Club Points. And as you all know, that is basically Working the Pathways education program. So we're going to talk to Sabrina Millay. And Sabrina, let's talk a little bit about the DCP program.
Thank you, Madam Program Quality Director. Hello, everyone. I listened to all of you and I feel like I don't know, you're all so awesome. Anyway, the DCP program, which is a Distinguished Club program, I always use that acronym and then someone would say to me, what does DCP mean? And for some reason, we think that everyone should know it and we all don't always know what that is. We always have new Toastmasters. When you're using that to your clubs, just really spell it out. It helps. I heard Judy talked about when she does the area director visit, and I wanted to touch a little bit on that you use that moments of truth, which helps you to get all that information to for your report. Sue, I lost you for some reason. I see you again. I just want to make sure I'm get the green. Sorry. You follow the moments of truth and you get that report. But what happens when you already made that first visit, that initial visit? How do you know about your club? How else do you know besides having to call that club president or the officers or attending their council meetings and all of that? You have that report. I like to call this DCP a report card. I'm not sure if it's the right thing to say, but I've always used it as a report card for the club and even my clubs as an area director. And this is my second time serving as an area director, but it's also a progress chart. Use it as a progress chart. The report card is at the end of your term, but that progress chart helps you really and truly to track your clubs without having to bombard them. Again, sometimes I know how it is. Clubs don't always respond to area directors. You all know you're going to be area directors. Anyway, that DCP report tells you everything about that club, what their progress is. It even tells you the date they were chartered, which is so important to know. You walk into that club, you don't know anything about it. You have that moments of truth in hand, and then they give you 5 or 6 minutes to introduce yourself to that club. Talk a little about that. Let them know that you have done your little research on what their club is. I've attended a club as an ambassador the other day. It was the oldest club, 1940, Cara. It was Cara's club. 1948, that club was chartered. I actually went back to the DCP report to check, to verify. So find out all of those things about that club before you go out there. The date they were chartered. That DCP report tells you all the 10 goals that each club needs to achieve. It tells you the education levels, how many education level 1s they have, level 2, 3, 4, DTMs. It tells you how many new members they've actually signed up, how many new members joined that club. It tells you how many officers were trained. It tells you, did the club present their dues? Did they pay their dues on time to TI? It's important. And there is one little check mark on that DCP report that a lot of clubs sometimes do fail, and fail is not the right word, but sometimes don't always remember to get done, to get that check mark. And it is that submitting of the new officers. It's important. It's an easy check mark. That is 1 down on your DCP report. You have 9 more to go. Just stress to your club how important it is. Teach them how to do it. It is on the district's website. It is on Toastmasters International. Go over it with them, get familiar with it. It will really help you to bond with your club and help you to help your club achieve success. Thank you, Madam Program Quality Director.
Thank you, Sabrina. Wonderful. All right, we're going to go to Cara, who's going to talk about a little bit more about being the liaison and why that's important, and give us some examples of what you would do as the liaison between your clubs and the district. Cara Newcomb.
Thank you. Can you guys all hear me? So as a liaison, and for those of you who are newer Toastmasters, you might not realize that Toastmasters has a sort of, I don't want to call it a hierarchy, but it's levels. You have your club level. Above the club level, you have the area level, which as mentioned before is about 4 to 6 clubs. Then you have the division level, which usually is about 4 to 6 areas. Beyond that is the district level. And then above that is the international level. So as an area director, you are that main point of contact between the clubs and pretty much district and international. So you will really want to make sure that you have developed a relationship with your clubs. And that goes back to doing your club visits. I always suggest, and it's always suggested by every other Toastmaster I know, to do a introductory visit before you do your official area director's visit, as a way to get to know the club, to just get to know the members, and then you can go back for your official visit. But it also gives you a chance to see the club in action at least two different meetings, and hopefully more than that. You have 2 official area directors meetings throughout the year, to see them in action and to get a feel for where they might need some work or where they're really strong. See, just attending one meeting for the area director's visit report in one time of the year and then going 6 months later for the other time of the year doesn't really give you a full picture of how the club is doing. And so you really want to have that relationship developed with them. When I was area director, I served 2 years in a row as area director, and I felt like I built a good relationship with my club president, my VPEs. They were emailing me when they had questions on things, and I would let them know what if the answer was. And if I didn't know the answer, I would have no problem in saying, let me find out and I will get back to you. But what you want to do as an area director is you're going to use your training that you learn, everything you learned during the training, where you can find the resources on the Toastmasters International website, where you can go to look for and I can't think of the right term now, where you find all the reports. I know there's a terminology for it. You can show your club members how to do that. Now, some of them will not be able to pull certain things, but presidents and officers can pull certain reports, and you can show them how to do that. So to let them know where they can go to find the resources. It's so important that they feel comfortable coming to you. Dashboard, thank you, Debbie Jo, that they feel comfortable coming to you and that they know who you are. I have been in my club in Toastmasters for many years now, and I can tell you, many years we have not ever even met our area director, and couldn't even tell you who our area director was. Now, this past year, I didn't know we didn't have an area director assigned to us till I had to find out who it was and realize we didn't have one. But that can happen. And sometimes we know that we all have lives and we can get busy with other things, with work, with family. But it's really important, even if you send out a periodic email to find out how they're doing. Many a times as area directors, you will get information directly from the district, and also in the newsletters that come out from the district, and also in the magazine that comes out from Toastmasters International. And that's a great resource that you can forward to your clubs and say, hey, check this out, look at this. I remember when I was area director, I think it was the first year, Toastmasters International had an article in the magazine on doing online contests. And we were so new, COVID had hit, we were so new to doing online contests. And I forwarded that to all of my clubs because I knew that they could use that information. A lot of them were choosing not to do contests online because they weren't sure how it would work too well. And that was a great source of information to send to them. So you're going to be responsible for making sure that they are kept in the loop with what's going on and the information that's getting out there and following up with them. I think that so many times we get emails and things just kind of fall into a bunch of emails. We overlook things. I'm guilty of it myself. But if you know where to find the information as a liaison for the club, between the club and the district and international, when they come to you with a question, you can get back to them. And if you have that resource in an email, you can forward them that email. It's really, really been very helpful doing that. And so I have highly enjoyed, I served 2 years as area director, as I mentioned. I highly enjoyed it. And I've been division director for the past year. And I'm finding that's a whole new set of leadership skills.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cara. Wow, this information is so great. And just to add a little bit to that is your resources come from the District 84 website, the Toastmasters International website, all area and division directors that are working with you as your peers or who have been area and division directors before you, the trio, the chairs. I mean, your resources are endless. We can share with you personal conversations, answers. We can share with you things that you physically can read or download. So the resources are, I would say, endless. All right, our last person that's going to share with us this evening, it is the beautiful Amanda. Amanda, you have some information. You want to just talk a little bit about guidance and maybe share an experience that you've had as an area director. So let's go to Amanda Howard, please.
Thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters, fellow current leaders, and our future District 84 leaders. You've heard from everybody the resources that are available to us, the requirements that are expected of us, the opportunities to go above and beyond and be really excellent in this job. And that is what it is. It's a job. I recently had to go through a round of interviews, and in those interviews, they asked the cognitive behavioral experiences, and they say, tell us about a time that you had to deal with conflict. Oh, well, I'm aiming for a management position, so let me tell you about a time I was managing 6 clubs, and there was a massive potential legal problem, and I'd never been in a position of leadership before. Here's how I handled it. I listened, as Toastmasters has taught us to do. I reached out to my peers, the area directors. I reached out to my leadership, the division directors, and then to the trio. So I got all levels of leadership involved in this one really big, scary event that I have never experienced before. And it turned out really well. The resources are there for us. The people, the procedures, the ability to fail and still come out of it alive. It's okay to be human. As an area director, you get to work with so many different types of people. There are the clubs, there are those who are the go-getters who already know more about the job than you do because they've been doing this longer than you may have been alive. There are those who only want to see you succeed. Your division director, the trio, the others within the district. Your fellow area directors want to see you succeed. You can have an amazing experience with that. So far as guidance goes, it's okay to reach out and say, I need help. I have to tell you, this year as a division director, I failed miserably. I did, okay? Don't try to say otherwise, you can't. What I did do well though, and I give myself this, is I learned from my difficulties as an area director, and I tried to set my team up for success at the very beginning. I told them the expectations, which you're getting right here. And I made sure they knew that they could always reach out to me when something came up. And sure enough, I had 2 area directors say, help. And as a team, we all came in and helped them. So as an area director, it seems like a lot sometimes. It's simple. You have a team of people here to help. You have the resources available to you. And if you're looking for that leadership aspect from the Toastmasters communication and leadership development, you are going to get it. I know I don't see green, but I'm going to go ahead and bow out now. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Great information. And thank you to everyone who has been on our panel this evening. I didn't miss anyone, did I? Good. I hope I was kind of scared that I might forget someone, but I've got all your names on this trusty little pad. All right. So thank you, everyone, leadership team. Now it's time to ask questions. If we have any questions in the chat, Sue, will you let us know? And if there's no questions in the chat, anybody who has a question, just raise your hand and we can call on you. No questions?
You know,
Aye.
Paula, there was a question that someone gave me earlier
Okay.
that asked, how do you apply if you're interested in being an area director?
All right. Do you want to answer that, Nikki?
All right, I can. I thought you would. I thought I was asking the question you were going to answer.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. First of all, you just need to say that you're interested, and you have to tell the people around you that are in a position to share that message. And the first person that I always think about when it comes to area directors is, well, first of all, you need to know that the area director position is an appointed position. It is appointed by the current district director. So that's where you would go. Now, we're ending our 21-22 Toastmaster year, and we're talking about being an area director for the 22-23 Toastmaster year. Who do you think we need to be talking to if you're interested in being an area director? I would love to tell you Debbie Jo, and that's perfectly fine because she knows what to do with the information. But the person that's going to be appointing area directors for next year will be the incoming district director. And all things being equal and nothing weird happens, Paula Suma, our current program quality director, stands a good chance of being our next district director. So you've got her email because you get thousands of emails from her all the time. Let her know you're interested. Now, in a pinch, you can't find it, definitely tell your current area director or your division director, and they can pass on that information too, because all of us are looking for those people that we see that leadership quality, that desire to learn, and that desire to move out. Did that answer the question, Paula?
It did, and you did such a great job. Thank you so much. I'm putting my email in the chat in case anyone needs it. It is right there, psumadtm@gmail.com. And if you're interested, I will schedule a conversation with you, ask you some questions, find out a little bit more about you. And then if you're appointed, and chances are pretty good that you'll be appointed, but if you're appointed, then we ask for a certain form to be filled out along with a headshot of yourself. You send that to me. I share that information with the International, Toastmasters International, and I get your photo to our webmaster. So you will be official as of July 1st. The term runs from July 1st, the new Toastmaster year, through the end of June, the following June. So it would be a 2022 to 2023 Toastmaster year. You would serve a full term. And if you're interested, please let me know. I'm happy to work with you. And I know that there's several people that have asked for some information. I've sent it out to you. If you've not already gotten with me, please let me know when you're available to set up a quick call. It could be on phone, it could be on Zoom, and it probably won't last more than 20-30 minutes. So let's set something up. If you're interested, shoot me an email. I'm happy to talk to you. And I think there was a few other questions.
Yes, Paula,
Vicky,
there's
do you-
one in chat. It reads
Yes.
from Josie. When we write a report about the club, does the club officers have access to that report?
Great question, Josie. And yes, when you fill out that report, and it is an online report, click yes, no here. How many stars do you give it? Fill in a few names. Very easy, simple report. Everything's online. When you hit submit, it goes to Toastmasters International, it goes to the district trio, and it goes to your club president. So they will see what is on that report. So be nice. If they did something wrong, explain what it was, but make sure you ask questions, because I know that sometimes the area directors will just fill in whatever they want to fill in without asking those questions first. So make sure you do ask the club president or whoever is you're in discussions with, ask those questions. Debbie Jo, you had your hand raised? Was
I
it
think
you?
she's pointing to Edith has her hand
Oh,
raised.
Edith has your hand raised. Thank you. Edith, please go right ahead.
I'm the new blonde, Debbie Jo. I wanted to share a part of that answer that you gave, Paula, and thank you for providing that answer. But one of the things that I wanted to add to that is how important it is to use every single step as an area director, including reports, to build relationships for the growth of every club. As an area director, it was my practice, and it turned out to be a fairly good one based on the feedback received, that if you sit down with the president and the officers and share with them the findings of your report, you are most likely to, number one, don't give them a surprise. Remember, it's like receiving an evaluation, so to speak, right? And you don't like surprises on your job performance evaluation. The best practice is that as you are visiting and you're observing, then you can give feedback and let them know how we can improve that. So by the time the reports are going to be done, people have the chance to fix a lot of things. And boy, that can take you far, far in your relationship with them. So that's probably one part of wisdom that I learned when I was doing that job. And it really works out for the better. Thank you.
Thank you, Edith. Great, great additional information. Kathleen is asking, can the club officer position be the same for the 2 terms that they served? And yes, every officer position can serve for 2 terms except club president. Club president, if you're doing a 6-month term, you can do a full year, but you cannot do 2 full years as president, but you can all of the other officers. Vicky.
I just want to add, build on what Edith and the rest of you have so eloquently said. For me, the most important part of being in your club for any extended period of time and then moving on into the leadership is the opportunity to build relationships. That is really the most critical thing. You have such a wonderful opportunity to make new friends, to see the value in people that you might otherwise never have an opportunity to meet. I mean, let's face it, we go to our club because we are building those relationships, those friendships with one another. And as an area director, that's something that's so important. And the report is important because it is a sort of progress indication, but it's important because it gives that evaluation feedback to the club. I think that's where it can be most useful. So you always want to frame that report just like you would frame an evaluation. You want it to be useful, and it's not going to be a surprise. You're going to be talking about it. If you visit more than one time, you will also have a general impression of things rather than just a one-time experience. And that's, I think, also very critical to build relationships, create impression, talk with the club leaders, and give them the feedback that will help them build their club in a stronger, more thriving way.
Absolutely, Vicki. Thank you for that. And just to add a little bit more on that too, is when you're building that relationship as their area director, offer to help them with their club contests, offer to help them with their open houses, offer to come and speak, give a speech. You're going to be the ones that's sharing information that you're passing down from the district to the clubs. If you get an email from any one of the trio or on a leadership team, you're going to get some information that we're going to ask you, please share this with your clubs. And please do that because you're the person that they're going to get that from. They may not hear about it anywhere else. They're not going to know it's contest season or that the district is having a special event or a special speaker unless you tell them that, because we count on you to be that messenger. Tim, you have a question, sir?
Yes, I do. So someone asked me approximately how many speeches need to be given to complete a path and pathways?
I'm going to let Vicki answer that one. She was our
14.
14. All right.
14. Every path consists of about 14 speeches, and there are 11 paths. You have an opportunity every time you go to a club to check off a box on your own path, decide where you want to go, what you want to do. And remember, becoming an area director is that step, that leadership at a district level that you need in order to qualify for your distinguished Toastmaster. So it's a really important question. Thanks, Tim.
Mm-hmm. And doing the other things that we mentioned, having helping them with your contest or doing your own area contest, that could be used as a high performance leadership. Helping another club with their contest, those kinds of things can help you work through your paths faster and easier. All right, any other questions? We've got about 3 minutes left. Want to make sure we cover all questions before we wrap it up. Bobby, did you have a question?
Yeah, just actually, just a thought I'd like to add. Anyone here who maybe you want to be an area director or maybe not, but you do know someone who would make a perfect area director, they may not be here because they just may not have thought about it. They're a little unsure as to whether they should make that move. I was in that spot. However, someone reached out to me and kind of nominated me, both for area director and division director. Reach out, talk with them, see if they're interested, and then nominate them, send their name to Paula, let her know that you've spoken with them, and just provide her with the needed information for her to reach out to them and let Paula have that conversation with that person. And they may be the next district director in about 5 or 6 years. Who knows?
That's right. Thank you, Bobby. Absolutely. Those people who are area directors today, tomorrow, next year, they may be on the trio a few years from now. So maybe one of you, and maybe several of you. So I think it's a great opportunity for everyone. Couple more minutes left. Any last minute questions? Anything that somebody from our panel would like to share? Maria, you haven't spoken. If there's no other questions, let's let Maria say something to our beautiful
I'll be happy to
right
contribute. Thank you, Paula, for the opportunity. And thank you to our panelists this evening. You have all done a magnificent job at representing and painting the picture of what becoming an area director is all about. For me, I can say that I have enjoyed every step of my leadership journey, but perhaps that area director is one of my favorites because it took me out of my comfort zone and introduced me to all of the possibilities that were available to me beyond the district in a way that it wasn't threatening. There was so much training and so much collaboration and so many opportunities to meet other people and to learn from people that I admired, that I had only seen on stage. All of a sudden, they were my peers and we were all pursuing goals together. I absolutely love my year as area director. And I'm going to go ahead and be a little bit rebel in what I'm going to say next. And that is, I tend to forget a little bit, although we can absolutely market everything that we learn as an area director on our resume, because these are transferable skills. These are skills that you can take and apply the jobs, in your communities, in other roles that you might be playing. But let me tell you, I'm a little rebel because I did not handle business as in a businessy sense of the way. I positioned myself as an ally to the clubs, and I went in as a resource. Every step of the way, I position myself as I'm here to help you. I'm here to collaborate with you. I'm here down the trenches with you. And I developed amazing, in fact, I still claim them. They're clubs that were mine, and this was years ago. And I still claim them because we developed so strong relationships. And they came to me even, for things that were not necessarily business related, but they came to celebrate and to share. And those are moments that I will always share. When we had district council meetings, I don't mean to brag, but kind of, we had rooms full of people because we have built that type of rapport. So I would say focus on the relational aspect, and you will grow and in ways that perhaps you may not have even envisioned. To quote Bobby on the video that he sent us yesterday, he says to unfold and release the greatness. So I too would invite you all to release the greatness on whatever that next step on your leadership journey is going to be about. You will not regret it. You'll be here next year, this time, encouraging new leaders to follow after your footsteps. Remember that we're not great leaders because of our power, but because of who we empower. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Maria. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, do we have any final words from our district director, Debbie Jo?
Thank you so much. As you've heard here tonight, you're not expected to blaze trails. You don't have to get a book and figure out how to do this. There's checklists, there's a recipe, and you just have to follow it, and you'll be guided. You'll have someone holding your hand the whole way while you're making the recipe. And at the end of the year, you'll have a beautiful creation. Like Maria said, that you'll have those relationships and you will have learned so much. You'll make mistakes, yes. And like a few people said, they've learned from your mistakes, and you've made mistakes. I know you have, and probably you learned the most from the mistakes you make, but know that it's okay, and the whole district has your back. And thank you all for your heart of service. Thank you.
All right, with that, we are just a few minutes past 8 o'clock, and we want to make sure that everyone gets the rest of their evening for whatever it is they need to do. I want to thank the rest of the trio. Maria, I want to thank all of my panelists. I love you guys. You have been amazing. And especially those of you who are attending tonight and just here to find out more about this position. I see Gail, you've raised your hand. Yes, ma'am. What can we do for you?
Yes, thank you, Paula, so much. I am proud to be part of Maria Martinez's conference PR team, and shameless plug here for our upcoming conference. If those on this call have not registered for conference, either for the in-person registration or the online registration, tomorrow is the last day, and we cannot stress how important it is for you to go ahead and get online at our district website, register for our conference. It only comes around once a year. It is beyond the value of values, $149 for the in-person, $129 for the virtual registration, but be there. You will not regret it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail, for that lovely shameless plug. All right. Well, with that said, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I've learned that from Maria and from Debbie Jo. So thank you all so much for being here this evening. I am available. Oh, conference registration is in the chat. Thank you so much, Sue, for adding that. And Sue, thank you so much for your help as always. Zoom moderator, Zoom Master Extraordinaire. Thank you everyone for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. We will see you at the district council meeting on Saturday. We will see you at the district club, the district evaluation and table topics contest on Friday, is it the 6th? And then you get to see the international contest online. We all get to view the video together at the district conference. So please do register for that. Thank you so much. And the meeting is now adjourned.